That's
All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we actually have a very special guest. We have the very first MC within hip hop history, the first person to ever pick up a microphone that paved the way for every other individual that has ever done it. We got Coke LaRock right here, live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing great, my brother. It's good to hear from y'all to reach out that far.
I got to say, first and foremost, before we dive into this interview, man, it is an absolute honor to interview the first man that's ever done it, man. So thank you so much in advance for just giving us a bit of your time here in Canada this evening.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
But I know you're a very busy guy, Coke, so I'm going to dive right into this broadcast. But I want to ask you, I want to take you back to the year 1973, where you actually laid down the foundation for what we know today as hip-hop. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners the backstory behind you actually becoming the very first MC within hip-hop history.
Okay, it started like really as me just boosting up my team, the guys I hung with, because I was inside of a room. So really they didn't know me for talking. I wasn't a real talkative guy, and MCing wasn't even fashionable then. So, like I said, we 16, we around that age there. So I used to give friends cars. Like I used to tell you, like, you double park my car, and I'll give you, like, I'll say you was $1 million man, you ain't have no money. So at the end of the night, the girls be like, ooh, them guys got cars and money. You know, so that's how it started, me just talking, period. I don't have a MC mentality. Like, I wasn't chasing records. It was like 25 and 50 cents then.
And I have to ask as well, when you actually first did, like, you know, like those rhymes and whatnot up there, like telling people their cars double parked, like, did they ever kind of sit back and be like, yo, what is this guy doing? Or were they all for it, and were they into it from the start?
I mean, they was into it because it was like the neighborhood. It was like the little team I was with. Everybody had aliases, you know. They were guys named Skip from the Joint, Norm Rockwell, Charlie Rock. You know, we had different names. Nobody used their government name.
And also, as well, aside from being known as the first MC, you were also known as the co-founder of hip-hop alongside the one and only DJ Kool Herc. I was wondering, how did that partnership actually come to be for you guys?
I mean, it came on a matter of, like, Herc went with a young lady that lived in my neighborhood, so I used to see him pass by. And back in the 70s, Herc used to ride a fixed bike, and very few people had them kind of bikes. So I used to see him always drive by the park. So one day I said, yo, Herc, where you be going? Where you be coming from? And he said he be coming from doing 26 miles. And I'm looking at him like a kid from the Bronx. You got to really ride to ride 26 miles. I mean, that was growing up early days. And then we got a little tighter. Then we found out we went to the same high school together. And then, like I said, I started getting into cannabis. So I thought I wanted to be the cannabis man. So cannabis and a party go good together. And so when he said his sister was having the party, I come to the party. And, you know, at that time I was a beginning cannabis guy. So, you know, I come with my little nickel bags, and it went from there.
And one thing I've always wanted to know, because of course a lot of people when they say they're starting a trend, they don't really notice it at first. When you guys actually first came together, did you guys actually know that you were creating a brand new genre of music, or did you guys initially just go with the flow?
No, we went with the flow. That's what I'm saying. Again, that's why I tell people now, we're the patent and everybody else is the product. Because I used to tell her sometimes, I think we before our time, man, because a lot of stuff we did everything everybody did now. You know, the same way guys was getting a little money, they was driving cars, they was buying jewelry, you know, and then the beats and the people that came with it, we created the B-boys. We created that. Just like I used to dance. I wasn't no B-boy. I mean, I'm older. Again, I'm 66, so I know I'm people's grandfathers. But once again, like I said, the friendship and how we built, I was her partner. I wasn't his understudy. Some people get that caught up, especially with me. But they tried to erase me. But as you see, that's where LaRock came from. LaRock is a name. That's a creation that I created.
And also as well, when we're on that one, you actually brought up b-boying a few minutes ago. You actually had a friendship with the first b-boy actually known as Sasa. I was wondering, could you tell us a bit more about that? And of course, like, how did you initially get connected with the first ever b-boy?
Okay, well, see, like I said, Sasa came out of my neighborhood, to be truthful. And Sasa hung with my younger brother. They started selling loose joints together. But anyway, Sasa, when he danced, nobody kind of knew back then that he was double jointed. So he used to do a lot of collapse moves, and he was doing things people couldn't do at all because they couldn't even move their body in that position. And then he told me he was double jointed, I think in both knees or something, man. And he always did some phenomenal moves. You'd be like, wow, how this kid bent up like that?
And definitely, being double jointed in both your legs, man, it definitely means you can bend in so many different ways.
Yeah, and he did it, and he amazed me, you know.
And also, I read as well that he was actually one of those dancers that that nobody could actually beat. I was wondering, did you ever actually witness anybody challenge him to a b-boy battle?
I've seen Sasa dance against at least over 30, 40 people. I mean, after a while, they wouldn't go at him. I mean, I some of the best guys went at Sasa, but I've never seen nobody outdo him because, like I said, then after a while, he started bringing props. Like, he started pulling out cones, big cones, and all type of crazy stuff, pillows and big bottles. Like, he was an amazing little young guy, you know.
Yeah, especially bringing the props out like that. It must have confused a lot of people, too, being like, what the heck, man? How am I going to compete with this?
Yeah, but they thought it was halftime entertainment, you know. That's what they thought it was like at the party. Like, once the B-boys go, like, Herc or me, we'd just call out their names, and they'll get a circle, and then it's over. Once you get the circle, you know, everybody's watching the B-boys, you know.
And also, as well, your MC name actually went through different variations throughout the years, beginning as A1 Coke and then Nasty Coke, and then, of course, what we know as today. I have to ask you, what actually made you decide to switch it up and actually stick with the initial name, Coke La Rock?
Because, like I said again, coming out of the Bronx, man, like, people give you names. They give you a nickname. I guess if, you know, you're real dark, they call you black, or if you're always picking your nose, booger, you know, certain things. So people will give you an alias of who you are, you know, and then, like I said, my grandfather gave me the name Coco. But as I got older, I didn't want the guys calling me that, like the girls can. And then again, like Herc's father gave me Nasty Coke, and like I said again, I thought I was trying to be an undercover, you know, cannabis seller. So I didn't like my name out there. That's why I never took on a name at first. Then Herc battled, you know, the truth. Herc battled Pete DJ Jones, and Herc put on a costume, and I looked at him because I was like, wow, he's really into this thing like that. And of course he was cool, Herc, but then I said, damn, I gotta get me a name. And then I had a cannabis dream, and then it turned into La Rock, and then I put Coke in front of that, and then it became Coke La Rock. And after that, I named my son's middle name is Coke La Rock. This is way before hip-hop, way before anything. So this is why I said I was before my time, but I liked it, what I was doing.
And I gotta say, and now that name is actually immortalized within not only hip-hop history, but music history as well. That name will forever be remembered.
Of course. I mean, two famous guys took it to heaven, Doc La Rock and Doc La Rock. Like, I thank them. That's why KRS-One and all of them, but anybody with La Rock on it, because like I said again, it's a lot of La Rocks out here. Bookie La Rock, T La Rock, RC La Rock, you got 9D La Rock. It's rocks out here, but again, they had to want to be me, but I couldn't see it at that time. Like you said, we was before our time. I didn't take it as people wanted to be and do what I did. And again, I stopped before it became hip-hop. I stopped before Sugar Hill. I stopped before Grandmaster Flash and them. I stopped before everybody became who they was. So imagine if I had stayed in it then.
I honestly, I could only imagine. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the stuff that would have came out. I think you would have surpassed a lot of these guys.
How could they have been? I'd have been the first. Just like Kate Slade. I gotta thank Kate Slade because he put me on the 110. You heard that cut? You too?
I have, yes, actually. I was actually going to bring that up later on, but since we're on the topic, I was wondering, how did you guys actually get connected on that phenomenal joint?
I mean, phenomenally, it was just in the manner of him interviewing me. Like I said to guys know me, but they don't really know me because I was like older than guys. Like in my way, I used to say I had guys in dog years. When I was 17, I'm around grown men. I'm around fully grown men getting more money in New York than people can remember. And that's why when I was telling how I used to dress, I wore Lizards, 375, my shoes. Your whole outfit had to be a G. That's why I say in my first rhyme, I'm a G money man. I kept a G better any type of weapon. So therefore, again, man, like I was a whole nother guy that they didn't understand or know me. That's why they can't tell my story. So even with Kate, when I told Kate Slate my story, he put it together because he could feel it. You could feel me more if you live in that life. I wasn't living a DJ MC life. I was living a hustler's life. I was trying to be that hustler.
And also as well, one of the most famous hip-hop songs actually come out of the 80s was actually the song South Bronx, where you were actually mentioned by the legendary KRS-One, where he actually said, now way back in the days when hip-hop began with Coke La Rock, Kool Herc, and then Bam. I was wondering, how did it feel to actually hear your name on a song and be recognized by the next generation that came after you?
I mean, that feeling there was a great feeling, just like when he passed. I never met the gentleman personally. That's the funny part. I stopped. I didn't follow hip-hop, just because I just got back into what I was doing. But when Scott did that, it was a great feeling, man. And when he died, I cried. The same way with anybody, man. Anybody. Life is to go on, man. But that stamped it. Sometimes when you go, like they say, they really recognize you when you're gone. This is the problem now. This is why my team, Jack, Desiree, Lucky Bling, and Jack himself, Jack is trying to make everybody understand I'm here now and I'm alive and get to know me, get to see me, man. I love Greek meats, man, because that makes me feel so good. You know what I'm saying?
And also as well, I actually read that at one point you were actually signed to Sugar Hill Records. I was wondering, how did that deal actually come to be for you? And of course, what was it like actually working under that imprint way back in the day?
Okay, see, that there was that was, I don't know who said that. That was a lie. I had nothing to do with Sugar Hill. I had nothing to do with them. I knew Big Hank. I had nothing to do with them. I wasn't offered nothing. Nobody ever stepped to me. They tried to erase me. That's why I say you got lying kings out here. Cats are getting paid to lie. They said I was born in Jamaica. I'm born in the Bronx. They said they even got my birthday mixed up. They can't tell you about me. And now all of a sudden everybody tried to sign me and this and that. I don't know how that got about. The only thing I ever did was I did something with Cedar and Cedric, the Christmas record, with me and Melly Mel on it, and they tricked me. They didn't pay me for that.
And I want to say, I'm actually glad that I brought that up. That way we can actually clear the air on that one, because I actually saw that on your Wikipedia.
Nobody gave me nothing.
And I want to say, I'm sorry that happened to you, man. Honestly, a person that, laid the foundation for such an amazing genre of music, I personally think that they should have gave you everything that you rightfully deserve, and more than that, man. Because at the end of the day, without you, there wouldn't be a them.
Right, but then on the other half, once again, not holding no grudges of saying people should have brought me, they should have did it. I think God helped me for this perfect reason, because I was way before my time now. Now I'm going to another level of me. Now, like I said, I was involved with the drugs, so I was selling drugs. So therefore, I'd have been John Belushi. I'd have been these guys that passed away off of drugs, because I was doing later in my life, not earlier in my life. Later, when I did get into it, I was into it on a bigger level. So I would have OD'd, died, or got robbed. Them are the only things come out of that, man. So God help me for now. Now that I'm telling my story and I'm still moving, and I'm 66. I am not in no wheelchair. I'm not all tore up, and I am the 2010 High Times Culture Cup Award winner. That was another award that made me feel so proud, man. Steve Hager, High Times Magazine.
And I was actually going to bring that up as well. That you actually received that award out there in Amsterdam, and I have to
That's
ask,
it.
man, how did it feel to actually be a halfway across the world and in getting inducted into a Hall of Fame and receiving such a prestigious award?
That there, like I said, that's one of the top. You know, that kind of sealed it. You know, to make me feel good on who I am as a person. And like I said, I never got paid for hip hop. I never. These guys start making money, records and everything. I still had a 9 to 5, man. I still got a 9 to 5. I'm gonna stop. This year is it. But once again, like you said, I don't hold no grudges towards you. But if it's out there now, I'm gonna try to get it because that's where I'm at, and that's what my team is putting out there. But once again, take care of me while I'm alive. Don't wait till I go.
And the one thing I was always wanting to ask you, because like you're the co-founder of this entire genre, and this might sound like a cliche type question, but I have to ask, man, like what is, since you pretty much started like this, like you are the first MC ever. I have to ask, what's your take on today's hip hop and the direction it's going? Because I have to say it's kind of going in a direction that I personally don't really like.
I mean, again, I can't point out a point because I guess I'm the birth of it. But it goes anyway. And now it goes to that old saying, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You can get good hip hop, you can get bad hip hop, or you can get ugly hip hop. And that's how I take hip hop. Hip hop is like, I remember growing up, I couldn't listen to Wild Man Steve albums and stuff like that. You know, when your mother and them's in that living room where you can't vote. That's hip hop. Some hip hop you can't play because you know how they coming out there. Just like gangster. Now you got not in a bad way. You got religious hip hop. You know, hip hop is all over the world, all type of people. Just like I was in Cali and I went down with no nationality thing, but Mexicans were saying, "What's up, my nigga?" You know, like when they got into that word, when who's saying nigga and different things. So hip hop, man, is too. It's all over the world, you know. And me myself, I can't listen to really. I can hear anything, but I can't chase hip hop because I'm the beginning when it just started. Even the little lines and stuff I said, but like you said, it's some of it I can't even take. Right?
I most definitely agree with that. I really enjoy a lot of the underground stuff that's coming out today. You know, that's where I notice a lot of these artists are still implementing the entire hip hop culture, like, you know, the DJing, the b-boying, the graffiti, and whatnot. But this mainstream stuff, I don't know, man. I just try to pretend that it's not there.
I mean, and now like nothing personal. You know, you can wear a dress. You know.
But also as well, I have to ask this, man, because of course, obviously, you laid a verse recently on DJ K Slay's, like we just brought up a few moments ago. But I have to ask, what is next for yourself, Coke La Rock, man? Like, do you have plans to actually lay down any more verses?
Yes, I'm on his 200 coming out. Quiet as kept. I'm gonna let that out now. He put me down on that. I did a track with a brother called MC Happy, and me and my partner Jack here. That's y'all hooking me up with y'all. Me and Jack getting ready to do something. You know, again, but I'm not trying to run around the world being the first oldest hip-hop guy, you know, running through a lot of stuff. My thing now is trying to greet and meet and get a little business established, you know what I'm saying? And do that.
And also, as well, I just got to give a huge shout out to Jack for actually connecting us and actually making this interview possible there this evening. I just wanted to give him a shout out live here on the radio station airwaves.
Yeah, and he's the one I'm living hip hop through. If it wasn't for Jack, I would have just, you know, you had heard about me, but you wouldn't see me, you wouldn't really know. And I'm living it through him. Jack invited me to his club one day. It was the West End, and I went there, and he had a lot of new artists. Like, he got one that's out there. Her name is She Real. She's real hot. And Jack asked me to come, and I came. And then after that, I never left him, man, because his dream on making me be that person feels good. And I'm a heart speaker. I can talk the talk, but if I don't feel you in my heart, I ain't got nothing to do with you.
And also, as well, sometimes when you meet people, you just know that they're a good person. You can feel that positive energy just coming right off the individual.
Yes, of course. And he's AKA the Pumpkin Man. Jack got a lot of lyrics.
But also as well, Coke, this is the time in the interview quickly right before I do wrap things up. Just a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves, just a chance to give like shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to. But most of all, if you can, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on the very first MC within hip-hop history.
Okay, Jack would have to give all that information. He can jump in at the end and put all that out there.
Sounds good. Are you there, Jack?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yep.
Yeah,
I'm here, sir.
you need to give them my information so they can hear me, follow me.
All right, well, you can follow Copra Rock on his Instagram. That's the best source at the moment right now. And also, you can go through Popl as well, Popl, digital networking business cards. So, there's multiple ways to reach Rock, as well as his email as well, coprarock@gmail.com, Copra Rock Booking.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, Coke, thank you so much for just giving us a bit of your time this evening and sliding into the 97.7 FM airwaves. It definitely was an honor and definitely a privilege to welcome such a legendary individual like yourself. And I just have to say thank you for just creating a genre that we all actually love today, man. You know, you paved the way for everybody. So thank you so much, and just thank you again for giving us a bit of your time.
Thank y'all. And when I'm out there, I'm going to holler at y'all, man.
Hey, definitely sounds like a plan. That sounds like a plan to me. Thank you so much, Coke.
Thank y'all. Love y'all, Canada.